Hi! On our journey to develop a MIDI dashboard for a MIDI-enabled musical instrument, we've come to a stage where we can send various MIDI messages or commands to the MIDI device, but those messages are being transmitted without being seen. Wouldn't it be nice to make them visible so that we can monitor what is going on? It would be helpful when we try to fix a bug. So this video is about the implementation of a MIDI message logging feature as part of an ongoing program development. If you are new to this tutorial series, it is best to start with the first tutorial. You find it on my YouTube channel. The first question I need to ask myself: how do I make sure that the logging feature is accessible from different parts of the application? It should have global scope, since the events I want to track could occur at various locations in the program. At the same time, it does have a user interface, so it should also manifest itself as an object. To satisfy the requirements for this dual role, I created a user control for the user interface and a class that acts like a singleton. There will be only one instance of this class in the system, and this one and only object will be accessible from anywhere in the program. I'll start with the user interface. This will give you an idea about the functionality of the log. This area down here will be filled with text. This is where the information about the transmitted message will appear. The text area can be cleared if needed. The text can be also copied to the clipboard for further study. Sometimes we might want to do a few tests, one after the other, each test involving a bunch of messages. In this case, to tell which message sends belong to which test, it is useful to insert a divider to separate them. The Notes checkbox refers to musical notes. Often it is better to switch off the logging of musical notes played so that they don't clutter up the log. Finally, the entire log can be turned on or off. I decided to implement the user interface as a user control rather than incorporating it into the main window. The main window class could get very large rather quickly if I put everything there. An alternative would have been perhaps to make it a resource. The code behind for the user control looks like this. Here you can see the button click event handlers. But the interesting bit of code is this. The crucial question is, how do I insert logging information into the text area of the log? The text area is actually a listbox control. Somehow that listbox control has to be accessible from all over the program, either directly or indirectly. My solution is this. I created this MIDI message log class. It has an initLog static method that takes the listbox as its argument. This class also has a static property called log, which returns the single instance of this class. Then we can call object member functions on that single instance, such as this isEnabled property. Let's see more closely how that works. The MIDI message log class declares a static instance variable. It is private. An instance of this class cannot be created from the outside. The fact that the constructor is private ensures that. The MIDI message log object is created in the initialization method where the listbox for the log's text is passed in. It is assigned to a field variable in the object. The object and its methods are accessible through the log static property of the class. The most important of these is the add method, through which a piece of text can be inserted into the log, ultimately to the listbox. Don't worry about this, I just placed a limit on the number of entries in the log. I hope I explained it well enough. Let's now see how the log is used. For instance, when we are playing a musical note, the description of that note is added to the log. The text of the description is formatted here. Hopefully you can read it off the screen. Similarly, when a CC message is sent, it is added to the log, after nicely and neatly formatted. But of course, everything begins when the user control is added to the main window. It is declared here and created and added in the configuration section. This is what the log looks like in a real-life scenario. I'll just use my laptop's internal synthesizer. There are already entries in the log from program startup. I'll copy them to the clipboard and paste them in here. Here are the initial sound selections for the 16 channels. Now let's select another sound. I'll insert a divider before the next test, and then nudge the volume control a bit, and the pen. Okay, let's play some notes. Oops, I forgot to turn on the channel. Let's see what we've got this time. As an exercise, you could check the format and correctness of these MIDI messages in a MIDI implementation document. Until next time, bye.